So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to see about the Route 53 ending, and we will be seeing about the VPC, which is a very important DNS. So we will be seeing about today Route 53 first DNS. It will be taken into the consideration. So first Route 53 policies, the remaining policies that are left for us to be taken will be seen now. So when you create a record, you choose to routing policy, which determines how the Amazon Route 53 respond to the queries. So that simply routing means you will be having the simplest form of routing where you can use the single resource system that will be performing the function, and the domain and the web server as well as the servers that are given to the clients, everything will be managed here. So weighted routing means actually it has some burden on it, or it has some sort of pressure on that, so that it will be used for multiple resources in the proportions of to specify the server instance or server's main capacitance. Or next one will be known as the latency. So latency route means it will be used for resourcing the multiple AWS regions. Means, as you know, we have different types of regions where we can take the server or up and run it on that, so that it will be taken according to the route traffic or the traffic that is handled by the region. Means if the infiltration is more, it will be using of more, it will be becoming into some sort of weighted one, so that it will be taking according to the region and according to the traffic in that server. So next one will be failover routing. So failover routing will be we can use for whenever the one server fails, this will be coming into active position. So it will be like an active and passive failovers one, so that whenever one failovers, this open policy will be coming up, and we will be using the other servers. Geolocation routing policy. So this is the policy where you can see according to the traffic or according to the region where the traffic is gone. Geo proximity routing means it will be having some sort of main purpose of the main geographical area, so that where the infiltration is more, there the servers are used more. And the multi-valued answer, or the actually using the policy where the multi-valued one are used more time than the general one. So it will be used for DNS queries, which is a healthy record selection of maintenance one. So here we can see that, and we can do about it. And and now we are going to see about the VPC. So what is VPC? Amazon VPC. So Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. So this is an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud is a commercial cloud computing system where it is a service that is provided by the virtual IP address, so that it will be given to the provision for logical isolating the section of Amazon where we will be having the web services running in it, so that the cloud will be actively running on it. So we will be having, it also enables you to launch the AWS resources into the virtual network you have already defined, and you can also have the multiple layers of security system, like having the groups, or you can control the network list and network access lists, and we can go for any sort of operation in this. And you can create a hardware virtual private networks. Means you will be taking out some sort of server based regions where you will be having the physical unit there, and you will be having the firewalls to handle them. So you will be hiring the people for that. So why should we use Amazon VPC? So why only we should use Amazon VPC? So Amazon VPC enables you to build the virtual network in AWS cloud, so that no VPNs or hardware or any sort of physical data that is required to be accessed or to be given to any sort of people cannot break into it. Means basically it is the toughest one, so that you can rely on that, and you can have the define you can define the workspace of your place, so that you can control how your network wanted to be worked, or how it running up and down, or you can control according to that, so that you will be having several sorts of security layers, so that you can have you are not exposed to the internet. So now we can go for what do we get from there. So what do we get from AWS VPC? So here we will be getting, actually the points are I said earlier, but we will be taking into consideration in the points. So complete control of the IP address range, so that the range from which is starting from to ending will be taken in, will be in our hands, so that we will be giving any sort of servers applications to them. Next we will be having uh, choice of creating subnets. Means you can create different sorts of subnets and add it to the instances, so that we will be giving any sort of information to the subnets, and the subnets will be hired by the some sort of people, so that they will be using the different types of subnets for everything. So root table configuration will be having the configuration which will be done at the root level, or the the root level means, as you know, the path. So the root table configuration means how the network needs to be gone will be actually set it here. And network gateways will be actually a basic solitary point where you need to have a, it will be like acting like as an gate pass. So it will be having, giving you the information where the network is stored or network is used. So we will be having different sorts of, as you know, security level. Instance will be having the, if you are using in a virtual one, instance will be having the security groups, whereas the subnet, which is of a virtual type, but you will be having NACL. So we will be seeing the advantages of VPC. So advantages of VPC can be briefly described by saying the different types of qualities that has been occurred from that, so that it will be having the agility, more securable, and hybrid clouds to easy deploy, so that you can go for any sort of alternative distances in or you can switch the servers for any sort of instance. Improved performance and satisfied customers means already the persons who have bought it have the feeling of satisfaction. Availability, basically AWS gives a number of servers, so that you can access for any sort of VPC, so that you will be getting any sort of information. So the increased resources to the channel innovation, so that you can always update it and relaunch it to the public. So Amazon VPC will be having different sorts of managements that are involved in that, so that AWS management console comes first, where it provides the interface that will given to the access to the VPC, and we will be having command line interface CLI, where it provides the broad set away of the AWS services, including the people who can use the uh, particular VPC service, and you can support the web server system. And next we will have SDKs. So as we seen earlier, what is meant by SDK? So we have SDKs here. Provide language specific APIs, so that it will be used for the details such as calculating the different types of amounts that are required for us, like time and space that is required for us. Query API. So this provides you the low level of API actions like that is used for the Apache servers like HTTPS and PHPs and different sort of servers we will be using here. So pricing, what is the general cost of taking the pricing? So there is no additional charge for VPC in the AWS, but there are some charges that give you the main difference in between going fully into it or going fully out of it. So if you're renting some sort of a server for some time, if you're logically taking some sort of RAM for the more time, then you will be having uh, facing this subnet issues, so that you will be having the web server has to access the internet and place it back at the time where we need to add the second subnet. So you will be having the no internet access. So you can leverage the multiple security layers, so that you will be having VPNs. As we know, VPN will be hardware virtual network. So virtual private network. So virtual private network, as you know, we use in the cell phones, I mean telephones, we will be continuously taking about that. So how to create and configure your VPC? So following steps that will be used, or the following steps that are used for creating a VPC will be taken into the directory. So that we will be, first you need to create a VPC and we need to add a subnet to it. So how do we create a VPC? So the main purpose of this will be having VPC creation into um, adding into the main server, so that you will be having AWS up and running, means instance up and running. So the VPC, one of the subnets and an internet gateway. So first we will be having going to the, as you know, the console, uh, console.aws.amazon.com, so that we will be having one of the VPC dashboard. We will be choosing to launch the VPC wizard one. So step one will be actually having of selecting a configuration of the VPC, and on the VPC with the single subnet, and choose will be selecting, so that you can enter the IP block, so that you can use some sort of name for the VPC, and then we will go for availability zone according to the people. So we'll be first of all we have for default it will be like no preference. Next we will be creating the subnet by add ADS subnet. So additional subnet that will be added, so enabling the DNS hostname and leaving it to the DNS to the default section, so that the hardware tenancy could default. So it takes several minutes to be created, but you can refresh and wait for the time, so that it will be up and running and created. So this is how we create a VPC with an additional subnet. So how do we create a subnet and then add it to it? So if you want to create a second subnet, then you need to have AWS directory will be servicing of two subnets where VPC, and each subnet can be available in different sorts of them. So if, first of all, if you are using VPC from India, but the first of all you will take in general way. So Amazon here, Amazon Prime videos will be here one like, and USA one like. So if you want VPN, then you can see their version. So that is how here we can trust that VPC can be having the second subnet. So as you know, we will be creating a subset of ABC Amazon like by console.aws.amazon.com, so that we will be going into the subnet, and we will be creating a subnet, and we will be adding that to by clicking create, and we will be adding in the dialog box, so that you will add subnet to. So we will be having uh, different types of options earlier. VPC will be going for, if you want to select, or if you have already created a VPC, you can select that, so that you can add that. And availability zone will be the zone whichever wherever you want. So in the, so we have seen the information that is required for us to be creating, and how to up and run the VPC. So that recommendation of the security groups comes in the next priority. So that we are VPC with default security groups which are initially go to the outbound of the traffic, so that where the security levels will be actually automatically targeted by the instance. So therefore we can recommend a security group to use to the web servers in your public network, so that some sort of people can be used for making the information, so that you will be using the information that are useful for, and the creating the web server will be actually helping you, and in the form of making the group servers, and security groups, and adding the rules. So we will be adding the rules according to the team, and we will be going to specify the which server web server you are using now, and select the web server will be according to the group that are selected, so that the groups will be assigned according to the management role. So if you are management in the management or in the coding waves, we will be having different types of groups, so that we will be assigning them the options that are required for us. So this is all we have known for now. So we will be having different types of recommended security groups, like web server SG, NAT SG, and DB server. So we will be actually adding them one after to that, so that web server will be actually using for a public network, public subnet, and it will be used for NAT SG will be used for the instances, and if you are up and running anything in the private networks, then you can use the DB server. So the main recommended for this security group is to allow the internet traffic, and we will be having the SSH, and we will be giving you the database servers in the private subnet, so that we can give the web servers doesn't initiate or bound anything according to it, as we can see of it now. So this is all we have seen about it.